Hello, good afternoon. We are about to start our monthly webinar, and we are going to do a webinar talking about a product or solution each month at the last Wednesday, 2 p.m. East time, which will be 11 a.m. Pacific time. So okay, let's get ready to start. So today we are going to take about half an hour, talk about one of our new products, which is going to be released next month, actually also next week, and which is embedded cellular router based on IR900 series, and where its embedded version and it supports IoT Category 1, and it will be certified by Verizon Wireless. So a lot, there are quite some customers expecting such a products, and we are also very excited to launch such a small embedded but yet very powerful products to the market, especially for the US market. And then a little bit background. So today, I'd like to talk about two aspects, two other preparation of introducing the embedded IR900. Let me spend a little bit time talk about IR900, the whole series, because we haven't talked about this for a while, and we just started the webinar, and some of our old customers know about 900 since at least 2 years ago. But along the way, we have a lot of upgrade and a lot of progresses on the features. So let me talk about 900 as a whole product range at first a little bit. So, so 900 and which is very powerful industrial cellular router, or let's say sometimes we also call of IoT routers on the market, and maybe one of the most powerful range on the industrial IoT gateway market. So at first, it support different kind of cellular networks. Nowadays, for sure, you need to support various global telecom operators like LTE network for US, for Europe, for China. So it's kind of globally certified. And then at the same time, it's a very powerful router or firewall or gateway. And it has very strong high level sophisticated VPN function, which is to ensure the data security, network security, and it has as one of our flagship product line. IR900 support very large scale, very sophisticated configurations. So I'll explain a little bit later and how we support that. So for example, there are quite several world leading customers are using IR900 for their remote networking, whether the biggest healthcare company in the world, or one of the biggest power utilities in Europe, also maybe the biggest power utility in the world, which is China state grade. So we have rich features and how to support large scale development. And at the same time, we've also added Python programming into IR900, which opens the door to a lot of possibilities. It's not only a router anymore, it becomes an intelligent IoT gateway with this Python programming environment. So as I mentioned, it's globally certified and it's globally approved by a lot of world-class customers. CE for Europe, FCC, UL mainly for US and for industrial markets, and it also RCM for Australia, and also we are certified by all three major telecom operators in US, and we're also certified by Microsoft Azure IoT network, IoT cloud platform, which I will explain a little bit more later on. So it's very powerful, and I personally I believe it's the most powerful IoT gateway nowadays on the market. So some highlights of the features. So it's a combination of different things. It's a combination of the powerful, very powerful network and routing functions, and the combination of routing functions and industrial ruggedized features. So, for example, we have sophisticated network routing features, VPN, dynamic VPN, dynamic multi-point VPN, and different level of different support different way of ensure the network security, data security, and physically it's very reliable, and we also it's also an intelligent gateway which can support our customers own program, which is running, we provide supported by the Python environment. Let's go to a little bit detail. For example, we talk about large scale. For example, we support several features which is important for large scale deployment. For example, the OSPF, which is a dynamic routing function, which can support a large scale or even a scalable deployment. And we also, IR900 also support dynamic multi-point VPN, which is to easily build up a large mesh VPN networks. Mesh VPN networks, it means that each 900 here can represent a site, not only a device, but connect a site into a mesh of VPN networks, multiple VPN networks, so that one device in one of the site can build the direct access to another device in a different site. So this is the beauty of dynamic multi-point VPN. And with our customer in IoT or in smart grid applications or in smart machinery applications becomes more and more sophisticated. Normally there are multiple multiple devices, a lot of more and more devices in same remote site. And with IR900 dynamic VPN features, our customer can easily connect all those different sites as if those sites are connected by a single local area network. At the same time, we also support two different ways to manage the network itself. At first, for sure, we support the de facto standard SNMP protocol, which is specified by a lot of big customers because their IT system or the IT managers, they specify on SNMP so that our products, IR900 and the IoT network can use the single and unified network management tools, so the IT managers can have the global view of both office IT networks and the IoT networks for business operations. At the same time, because some of the features, some of the remote and cellular network connections are not covered. Some of the features, some of the parameters, some of the measurements are not covered by SNMP protocol. And so that we develop from the earlier stage, we develop cloud-based network management tools. We call it InHand DM, which means device manager, to provide the capability to remotely manage a network connections. So with DM, our customer can easily manage our large-scale remote networks. So at the same time, we also provide web CLI, which is compatible, which is a lot of network engineers are very familiar with. So it's 900 is designed for very sophisticated, large-scale systems. And as I mentioned, we have different ways of remote management. Specifically, we provide a cloud-based InHand DM. For example, I mentioned something is not covered by SNMP, so with InHand Cloud, with InHand DM, we can we can monitor the data flow of each connection. We can change the configuration or update the configuration by batch, by volume automatically those router configurations, or even to upgrade the firmware itself. And we can also assign multi-level of user authentication, so that in a large organization, we can allocate the access to different people. So this is about network management. And then let's talk a little bit about the data security. And IR900 has rich features of different set of data security features, from very basic device management security, like to control the access, to data security, and also to some firewall protection functions. So let's take a look at some of these features, like for example, the data security, the IPsec VPN. We support different type of VPNs, but IPsec VPN is one of our typical VPNs we supported, and also be used by a lot of critical applications. And here, for example, the R900 can talk with the certification CA server, certification authorization server, and to manage the certificates, and then to build up the connection. And at the same time, we can also set up the updates, so that, for example, each month or each 2 weeks or each quarters, the certificates has to be updated, so that to ensure the security. And for example, some of the remote device might be compromised, and then we can withdraw the certificate, and so that the whole system, the network system, can be protected. So this is a very popular, very mainstream way of build up the secure network. We support IPsec VPN, and based on the IPsec VPN, based on the GRE, we also support dynamic multi-point VPN I mentioned just now. And then with this kind of setup, we can enable the direct access among different remote sites, which is very useful and very convenient for large systems. So this is about the VPN features. And then AAA authentication, which is to manage the authority to access the router itself, to control or to configure, to log in to this router. So we support AAA server, and so that we can protect any unauthorized access to the router itself. So this is just some example of how we can ensure the security, like whether to access the router itself, or to access to get connected into the VPN network. So at different level, and at the firewall level, we also support deep package inspection, and we also have the mechanism to protect from DOS. So a different level of data security, and which is more and more important nowadays for IoT applications. Then let's talk about the reliability. So the reliability it's embedded in a lot of aspects of IR900's design. So at first, at the connection aspect, we have multiple level of redundancy. For example, we can use cellular networks. We can use fixed line Ethernet as the backup to each other. And for some of the region and countries, when cellular is not so good, we also support dual. We have two SIM cards, and so that these two SIM cards can also back up each other. And at the same time, within IR900, there are multiple levels of automatic detection and automatic recovery. For example, whether it's link, the IP link, TCP link, IP link, network link, link level detection and automatic recovery, and also even there's a hardware watchdog embedded so that the route itself can automatically recover, reboot without any operation by the engineers. So the whole idea, the whole concept when we design the IR900 is that it must work continuously, remotely, unattended, without sending any people to reboot or to repair or to diagnostic the device. So it can always find a way to recover and to reboot and to reconnect the network connections. So this is so this is, we call it, sometimes we call it a high availability. Actually, it's about different, every level of reliabilities of whether the communication, the network connections, or the hardware itself. And then let's take a look about also the Python programming. We added Python programming, and I think which is very important, and it's more and more important nowadays. Very important feature, because it opens the door to different applications. Later on, because we know that the IR900 has a lot of interface, and then if we combine the interface, local interface like general purpose I/O, Ethernet port, server port, and we combine those local interface with a Python program, it can become a very intelligent devices. In a lot of cases, in more and more cases now, we see that the customer can use IR900 as the main processor or as the main intelligent device in a remote site, and to manage a lot of things, to manage the local, to implement some local functions, and which is very convenient, and it's very different than before. Before, sometimes the customer think, oh, I need my own device at the remote side. I just need a router to connect my device. So right now it's more than that. IR900 can become intelligent, or even kind of a local intelligent, local control function thanks to the Python programming environment. So which is also, this Python programming environment is also very important, which is because with such programmability, we open the door to different IoT platforms. Even in InHand Networks, we have our own IoT platform, and we also need to open to other mainstream IoT platform. For example, pretty recently, we are certified by Microsoft Azure IoT platform. We are listed in their developer partner category, and which is also big. We can get this. We can support this kind of integration into such a mainstream IoT platform, because it's very easy, and we use a Python programming environment, and we integrate SDK, we pass the test, and we're also going to open the source code of some very oftenly used software like the Modbus converting, and so we will hope we will have better and better support to our developers who can develop various different kind of IoT application based on IR900. So which is very nice, which is also, we're also very interested to see different ways of our customer to use, of our customer are using IR900 in different ways, which is very, very interesting. And industrial design, as I mentioned, is highly ruggedized. Sometimes, and I don't know if there's any audience which is related to industrial automation, but sometimes IR900 is more ruggedized than most of the PLC controller on the market. So it's reached EMC level 3 or even EMC level 4, which is highly, highly ruggedized. And a lot of interface, as I mentioned before, so digital I/O, serial port, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, GPS. We can also we can even insert a micro SD card for the local data storage. So which is really it can really become an intelligent gateway or even a local controller for remote applications. So okay, so far 900 is a very powerful product range, and maybe the most powerful range in the IoT cellular IoT market. And then the category one, embedded router. And so as we can see from the picture, it's a very small product, and you can we can feel the size about the SIM card and the SIM card holder. So it's really a small and compact product. And this product is inspired by one of our customer who asked who really like 900 features, data security, and also the approval by those world-class customers, energy power utilities. But the product is a solar meter. It's very compact. The space is very limited. So we decided, okay, let's develop an embedded version for the market. It means that, well, there are some customers who need the sophisticated function of IR900, but they need a much smaller form factor. So this is original. So we can say that it's totally inspired by our customers. And then at the same time, when we launch such a product, we consider that, okay, so for this kind of applications, for sure when we develop these products, we decided that everything from now it should be IoT now. So, but at the same time, we think, okay, let's see, the category one should be enough for a lot of IoT applications. So we decided, okay, let's develop this module, this product as a category one products. And then actually, as some of us may heard about very recently with there are different terms and low power wide area network or narrow band IoT. But whatever the name, it means that the IoT is going towards from high sophisticated or very high-end applications to smaller, lower power consumption and lower cost products. So InHand Networks as one of the leading supplier in cellular IoT, and we have been working on cellular IoT, cellular gateway, cellular routers, industrial grade cellular routers for more than 10 years. And we shipped out more than 200,000 cellular IoT gateways last year. So we are for sure one of the world leaders here. And so we are going to follow the migration, follow the evolution of whether it's called low power WAN or NB-IoT. And our main strategy is that we are going to follow the mainstream telecom operators network. So we are going to support LTE category 1, or in the future category M, or in the future maybe on category NB in the even further future. So for the even lower bandwidth. So I borrow the chart from Wikipedia, so to very intuitively, very intuitive chart. So to explain category 1, it's for us, it's the first step towards those low power network. So we think, well, it's a good idea. So let's develop category 1 products. And by the way, it's an embedded version, so we can provide not only smaller footprint, but also lower cost than a full like a category 3 or category 4 LTE product. So customers are happy. So right now, let's go back to the picture again. And so basically we put the most powerful cellular IoT router in the market to a very small form factor. Connectors on the side, and antenna on the other side, antenna connector on the other side. We also put there some indicators on the shorter side of the product, and there's a SIM card holder, and both sides of the products is protected by a metal cover. Because we designed this product as inherent as a legacy of as a heritage of IR900 series. It must be very ruggedized. It must stand strong electromechanic disturbance, high EMC level. So both sides are protected by metal covers. And so this is the form factor. And then as I mentioned, we call it IR901, which is one of the entry levels embedded version of IR900. So it inherent all the features, especially the software features or network function features of IR900. For example, the VPN, data security, and the Python programming. All the software function has been inherited from the whole IR900 series. And so let's look at a little bit more detail about interface. So even it's a small form factor, actually in the connector, we can provide three different interfaces, network interfaces. The first is Ethernet port. The second is serial port, and we also have three general purpose I/O GPIO. So it's both. Actually, it's very versatile, and we can support with the Ethernet or serial port or GPIO. It's pretty much like a full function IR900. And then actually IR901, the embedded IR900, can be used in totally two different ways. The first way on the left side, our customer can use our IR901 just as a network products. So for example, they embedded IR901 into their products. They have their main controller or processor running their own software, and through the connector with their server port or Ethernet or even Ethernet port, and they use IR901 as a router, and then to get the cellular connection to the remote network. So it's a typical application. But at the same time, on the left side, the IR901 can also be used in a totally different way. So by this way, IR900, IR901 plus the Python programmability can be used as the main processor. So our customer can just develop a simple interface board, whether a serial port or Ethernet or GPIO. And also for sure, we need a power supply, external power supply for that. And then our customer can use the Python program to implement their application. So we don't need another processor, or we don't need another CPU to implement the application. It can be done in Python programs in running within IR901. So it becomes a very compact, very competitive way. I mean, the price aspect, which is relatively lower cost, which can be very competitive on the market. And because IR901 is fully certified, it's powerful, it's highly ruggedized, so our customer can easily, quickly launch highly reliable and certified products and for his IoT applications. So we can help the customer to reduce the time to market, TOM, time to market. So which is also very important nowadays in a very competitive market situation. So it can be used in two different modes, whether a customer can use 901 just as a modem, as a router, as a network connectivity, or it can be used as a main processor and just some simple interface board to be added, to be developed according to the connector, and then that's it. That's a very powerful, very competitive IoT device. So use case. So we already have several customer lines up for this application, and it's kind of pre-release because we are waiting for the final paperwork of the Verizon certification. But it's one of the first customers who are using and testing IR901. It's a very good customer. They also have a fantastic innovative products, and it's a solar meter and it's widespread. And so LTE network can be a very good choice because it's some of the location of those solar meters might not be covered by the metering network, and so the cellular category 1 network can be a very good choice for them. So it's widespread and solar panel. So it also, for sure, they need a high level of reliability. And finally, the products also need to be UL certified for industrial and energy applications. So which is, we think, well, we are happy that we are very happy that we can work for such a customer from the early stage for the I901, which is very inspiring application, very nice application. So so this is 901's one of the typical applications, and then back to the functional mode for the Kinect DR for the solar meter customers. They use 901 just as a router. So this just let me go back to the functional mode so that we understand how the products can be used. And then it's as I mentioned, it's kind of today. We just can't wait to release that, announce that, to talk about that, to talk about these products. It's kind of pre-release, and we're waiting for the paperwork of Verizon certification. And the part number, it's simple. It's very simple. It's only one part number. It's called IR901. L stands for LT and FS31, and it supports Verizon wireless category 1 networks. By the way, Verizon wireless category 1 networks is already available nationwide, so it's a very good time to launch such a product. And at the same time, we also provide an evaluation board, as the picture showed. So on the evaluation board, we can find a Ethernet port, a serial port, and also for sure a 5 voltage DC power supply. So please contact us for the availability and also for the evaluation board. And then, so that's basically what I'd like to share for today's webinar. And I have several pages which is talking about InHand networks. I think a lot of audience today already know pretty well about us. So let me go quick. And so InHand Networks is a global leader in industrial IoT. We have 200 employees in the company. About half of our population is in R&D department. So we have about 100 R&D engineers, and we are growing fast. Not only because we are doing a good job, but also because IoT is growing very fast. So tremendously growth and financially healthy. And we are working on not only IoT products, but also the cloud platform and also selected IoT solutions. And we are very lucky that from the earlier stage, like 10 years ago, some world-class customer has been work with us to help us to grow, and also to help us to become one of the top supplier in cellular IoT industrial cellular gateways. For example, G Healthcare approved us like more than 10 years ago, and China State Grid, Schneider Electric, Rockwell Automation, and Eon in Germany. They all used our products for years. So I think we are really lucky to work with them, to work for them. And then we are based in Fairfax, Virginia, and so we have the local for the US. We set up our US operation like more than 3 years ago. We have the local inventory, local technical support, Also, we have sales region, the sales managers in Virginia, also in California, also for Midwest and Texas. And we supposed to cover not only US, but also Canadian market, Latin American market by we call it local US team. So that's about what I'd like to share with us about the products today. So yeah, IR901, it's a very powerful product, and so basically we put to be summarized, we just press how I don't know the right words. We just put the powerful IR900 in a very small and very compact form factor. So let's see if there's any questions I can answer. So for the question, there's a Q&A button. You can if you have any question, you can just click there and type in the chat window, and I will be able to see it. Okay, Leo has two questions. The first is, does 901L also support AT&T Category 1? Um, and and the second question is, any plan to have finished box version? So for the first question, does 901L also support AT&T Category 1? The answer right now is no. Right now, we only launched Verizon version. And so we'll see about we will look closely at the market feedback, and if the feedback is strong, it's positive, and if we find that okay, this is the right direction to go, we will launch the AT&T version. But at this moment, we only have Verizon version. So any plan to have finished box version? The answer is similar. No, we don't have finished box version, and we only provide evaluation board so that our customer can easily develop and test this products. And yeah, but it's not our first time we are asked okay, if we can provide a finished box version. So we don't know yet. There's no plan at this moment, because we launched this products as the purpose is to provide an embedded version for those customers who really need to embedded a powerful network gateway into their own products or into their small control panels. But we'll see if there's strong needs that okay, whether actually our customer whether can go to IR912 for the full function, fully finished box version, or if there's any specific reason we need to launch a finished box version, we will keep look at it. But again, at this moment, we don't have a finished box version for 901. So there's the next question is, does IR901L work in device touch? The answer is yes, because 901 inherits all function of IR900 series, so it will support device touch. So the answer is yes. Okay, let me see if. So let's see if there's any more questions. Okay, so the next question is, Remote access via PC is very easy right now using device access application. I understand developing a similar app for Android device, making remote access by mobile phone very simple. Is this correct? And if so, do you know what app will be released? When the app will be released? Okay, so I think I understand this question. So remote access by PC. Okay, so right now actually there are two. I'm not very sure I 100% understand it correctly. Um, it's so we have two ways. We have two different ways to accept. To build up remote access. The first is device touch. So for device touch, and our customer need to download a device touch client, and which is based on OpenVPN technology, and our customer can also develop a VPN client in the mobile phone or so that to connect it into our system. So this is one way. The other way is we also yes we are also launching Android app, but it's not only for the remote access. It's for the access to the whole InHand device network cloud platform. It's not just a remote access. It will also enable our customer to look at the data in the cloud platform on the mobile phone. So right now we already have the test version available, and we don't have the fixed schedule, but for officially release. But because of the new version of the device network platform, will be released in August. So the schedule is whether by August or maybe sometimes later than that, we will have this app available. So let's see, August or September, we will have the app available to access our in-hand device network platform. So the other answer is that is the serial port RS-45? Yes, it is. Yes. Do you think possible to embed it into ATEX product? Um, so Luca, could you explain a little bit more about, I'm not so sure about what ATEX is. I guess it's an industrial computer. So if it's an industrial computer, the answer should be yes. And because it can be connected to ATEX. ATEX. Hmm. Oh, ATEX is class 1 division 2. No, we don't have the anti-explosive certification for this product. And it's even we have metal cover, but we don't design the whole products according to that. And yeah, anti-explosive certification. So we don't have the certification, and we don't have the plan to do so. And even it's a low power because the power is 3.3 volt DC. It's a very low power, but we're not so sure we can pass the certification. Okay, let's see if there's any further question. Let's wait for a while for let's. Oh, yes, that's right. Low anti-explosive. Normally, low power consumption could be okay for that kind of situations. But what I want to explain here is that we didn't intend to go through such certifications because the whole IR900 we have not the whole IR900 has not been certified for doesn't have such certification. So we don't have this plan at this moment. So let's see if there's any further questions. Okay, so it seems that's it for today. There's no more new questions, and thank you very much for your time. And we believe Iron 901 is a very, let's say, interesting product, and we never put such a powerful product in such a small form factor. And we also, it's also our, it means a lot for us. So it's our first step, as I mentioned, towards a low power IoT network solutions, network products. And it's also an important step for us to support to support developers because this is an embedded product, so the customer need to develop, design, lay out their own PCB board according to the pin out of IR901. And if our customer want to use these products as a main processor, we will also need to provide the Python environment support and also a lot of technical support around that. So we're excited to launch such a product, and then we will see what kind of feedback that we get from this market, and then we may launch more and more low power NB-IoT type. We will go to this direction, but low power, lower cost, but yet very powerful and programmable. This is we call it intelligent, but actually it means that it's programmable. So this is our direction to go. Oh yes, we have one more question here from Leo. Is IR901 based on Linux or Android? This is based on Linux. It's the same as IR900, so it's a Linux. So it's not based on Android. So yeah, this is at the same time. We will keep. Thanks for all those questions. So I think we learned a lot from those questions. So we are looking. So we will keep our mind open for AT&T version, for finished box version, for ATX class 1 division to anti-explosive version. Okay, we are going to put some consideration into those directions. Okay, again, thanks everybody, and going to close the meeting now. Please keep in mind that each month, the last Wednesday, 2 o'clock in Eastern Time, 11 o'clock in California and Pacific Time Zone, we are going to have a monthly webinar. We are going to talk about whether interesting new products or some new solutions. So last month we talked about the simplified remote network connection. This month we talk about we can't wait to launch these products. And next month, we are going back to the remote networking, secure remote networking again. And then we are going to talk about a larger scale, pre-configured, secured remote network. So hopefully we can see you again in the next month's webinar. Again, thank you. Have a good one. Bye. Bye now. I'm going to close the meeting. Bye-bye.